You want to change your world. You want to change your life. Let's go to some early morning ramblings from your beautiful swan queen, Suzie. Welcome to the garden, my beautiful duckling. As you can see, the garden has changed. I know I've been quiet lately on social media, but I have just been quiet in life lately. And I've taken a step back and I've listened to my words. Really listened to my words. And the late night ramblings or early morning ramblings, I've been chatting with one of my beautiful ducklings. The imaginal scene that everybody wants to imagine with their specific person. We actually came up with one this morning, and that is waking up in the love of your life's arms every day. How would it feel to wake up every single day in the arms of the love of your life? Romance novels do this all the time. You will read the story where one of them is trying to sneak out of the bed while the other one is still sleeping because they have to go about their day or they can't sleep. In real life, that's a true scene that would happen every day. The balcony scene in Paris is not an everyday event. But waking up every morning, falling asleep every night, no matter what time you go to bed. So if you're a person who works overnight and your specific person works overnights with you and you go to bed at 10 o'clock every morning together, you're still going to bed snuggling. You're still waking up snuggling. Would you enjoy that moment in your life? Would that moment make you feel loved, secure, safe, seen, heard? Would that bring joy to your life? You're at your job and you're coming home and you know you're going to have dinner with your specific person and then you're going to go to bed and snuggle. How would you feel? Would you be excited to come home? Would you be excited to wake up? Would you be excited to go to bed at night? Absolutely. What little things would change in your life if you married your specific person? For most people, not much. And I'm going to use some really clear-cut examples here. So you get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to get ready to go to work at 6 a.m. You're married to your specific person, and you're still going to have to work because a lot of people do. You're going to wake up at 5 a.m. You're going to be at work at 6 a.m. That's not going to change. You get off at 2:30. That's not going to change. If you married somebody who traveled, let me use Jason Momoa as an example. If I were to marry Jason Momoa, what would be different in my life? I'd be traveling a lot. I wouldn't be sitting in the comforts of the penthouse. I would be in New Zealand. I might be in Montana. I could be in California. I'd be in Europe. I could be in Turkey. I don't know if Turkey's part of Europe, but it just popped into my head. My life would change because now I'd be traveling to wake up every morning with my husband. So when they tell you to imagine a scene, what would your life be like if you had the thing that you wanted? If I had $1 billion in the bank and I never had to take another coaching call, do another video, never do anything I didn't want to do, what would I be doing? Well, I'd still be talking to people. I'd still be going to the grocery store. I'd still be waking up in the morning and going to bed at night. What would you be doing during the day? Would you be volunteering for something? Would you be reading books? Would you be going for walks? These are the simple little things that they don't tell you that you need to do in order to create the reality of your dreams. So what would you be doing different becomes, well, I wouldn't be doing anything different. Like if I had $1 million in the bank, it's not enough money to live on in the United States because of the cost of living for the rest of your life. So what would you be doing to make that $1 million $2 million? What would you be doing to make that $2 million $4 million? What would financial freedom look like to you? The ability to go to Alabama, Gulf Shores, whatever you wanted, and sit on the beach and float in the ocean once a month? What little things would change? If you are looking at this and you are thinking it's so hard to change, look at one thing that you would enjoy doing if you had that thing you wanted. If you had the money, if you had the specific person, if you had the business you wanted, the house you wanted, the car you wanted, what is one thing you would be doing? If you had the car you wanted, you'd be driving to the store to get toilet paper. It's the most important thing in the household. If you had the house, what would you be doing? Walking through the front door or the garage door. You went from a condo or an apartment that doesn't have a garage, and now all of a sudden you have that house that has a garage. You'd be driving your car into the garage, walking in through the garage door. That's what you would be doing different. Sometimes different isn't that big. Other times it is that big. You marry a billionaire. Let's normalize how much easier life is for you being married to somebody who has a lot of money. Because now you have people who cook and clean for you. What would you be saying to that person who cooks or cleans for you? Would you be nice to them? Would you be polite to them? Would you be saying thank you a lot to them? Would you be asking your housekeeper about her day, her family, her life, her hopes, her dreams? Would you be asking the person who cooks your meals when they're off on that one day a week what recipes you could easily learn to cook? So we're not always making the act of what we want about the person we want. We're making the act of what we have, what we're doing, because we have this. And I've said for years, what value do they bring into your life? So would you enjoy waking up to that person every morning? Because that's value. When you raise your standards and you bring joy into your life, and that becomes the new normal, life just keeps getting better and better. They say when you die, the one who has the most toys wins, but I think the one who has the most fun is the one that truly wins. Because if you're not enjoying those toys, you're not enjoying that relationship, you're not enjoying having that money, you're not enjoying traveling, because it is so easy to go down the path of chaos. It's so easy to be negative because we see it in everyday life. It's not as easy to be happy. So if you take one simple little word and you start telling the universe, your little minions, God, whatever you want to call it, we'll get our little minion out here, all right? Our little minion, and you keep telling this little minion over and over again, I enjoy waking up with the love of my life. I enjoy having $1 million in my bank account. He's eventually going to deliver this to you. He has no choice. Because if you keep saying what you want, eventually it's going to show up. If you keep talking about the problems, they're going to continue to create in your reality. You get to choose. So choose wisely. I love you. Have an absolutely positively amazing day. And as always, leave me a comment and let me know how I'm drastically changing your life for the better.